First off, I'm really thrilled to be talking to you guys for just a few moments this evening. I'm mainly going to talk to you young Hokie fans. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to talk to everybody. And actually, when I was your age, I was probably dressed, can you stand up for a second? Okay. I was probably dressed like this. So I can relate to you as well. Yeah, this evening I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about my journey, how I got to where I am, some things that I think helped me along the way. Because I was at one point in your shoes, sitting in a place like you are right now. So I think first and foremost, as young athletes, but as young people, you guys, you need to have a confidence in yourself. And I think that extends way beyond the playing field. And that, like, when I say confidence, before you step on a field, a court, you pick up a stick, whatever it is, have confidence in yourself as a person, okay? Because you all have special abilities and talents, and use them off of the playing field. Because if you have a belief in yourself, once you step on the playing field, you're just going to you're going to be able to show your talents and your abilities. It's going to shine through. And having a confidence in yourself doesn't mean having a cockiness. There are a few words that I really hate, and cockiness, cocky, any derivative of it is one. I think I've been around a lot of cocky people. I think cocky people have something different that they want to prove. They have to prove it. There's an insecurity there. But when you have a confidence about yourself, you know it. You don't have to brag about it. You go out and you show and demonstrate who you are as a person and as an athlete. So, first off, I think you have to have confidence in yourself. And that's one side of it. But the other side to it is your work ethic. And it's something that I kind of learned when I was y'all's age. You guys have an unbelievable facility right here. I was exposed to VMI when I was little, and I think for me, one of the most influential periods of my time was when I was your age. And I was in a facility like this. I got started doing little agility drills and weight training, whatever it may be, because it started that work ethic. Because I know you guys can sit here and tell me probably 2 or 3 people off the top of your head who maybe on your team in your school, they don't work hard. It just seems like they can show up, and they don't have to do anything. They'll hit 4 home runs a game, and they have all the God-given athletic ability, right? Well, I thought that too when I was your age. There's some kids that just have it. What do I have to do? Well, I got to Virginia Tech, and I realized that ended really quickly. I played with a lot of kids who had a lot of ability, had a lot of talent, way more talent than me, but they didn't want to work. They didn't work hard. So when they got to Virginia Tech, they felt like they could just turn it on, and they couldn't. So for me, starting young, working hard when I was young was really important to me as well. So, you have your confidence, your work ethic, and then along the way, guys, something that I had to learn, and you will too, is I think there's a big difference between success and failure. And along with cockiness, one of the words that I hate is failure. I don't believe in it. In today's society, I got an A or I got an F, won or lost. I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as minor setbacks that lead to major comebacks. For me, I can give you a lot of examples in the classroom where I failed a class, I failed a test, but it made me a stronger student. I was able to get my degree, so it made me into a better student. Also in the field, the first thing that comes to mind is being ranked in the top 5 in the country, coming out at FedEx Field, the first game of the season with an opportunity to play Boise State and show the country that they're not that good. Well, we lose. Next week, we come out overconfident, cocky, we lose to JMU. We're 0-2. The headlines read, Hokies season a failure. But we didn't see it as a failure. We saw it as an opportunity to grow as a team, to get better, and we turned that season. We went undefeated from there on out, and we won the ACC championship. And that's one of my prouder moments as an athlete. So I think I want you guys to have a confidence in yourself, to have a work ethic about you, to understand that failures, whenever something doesn't seem like it goes right in life, it's not a failure. It's a stepping stone to making you a better person and a better player. And then I think it's my hope that also I think the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is just being a good person. I think a lot of the times for me, a lot of people say, oh, he's Danny Coale, the football player. For me, I don't know what sport you guys play, probably a mix of everything. I see some baseball guys, but I think it had a negative connotation. I was a football player. But I think there are a lot of good people in athletics, and I think I'm talking to a lot of good people in this room. So wherever athletics takes you in life, wherever you go in life, I think it's important to be a good person. I was just most recently at the NFL Combine, and I guess now this thing's on. It's a 4-day event, and a lot of people see the last day. They see the timing, the running, the jumping, the catching passes, and that's the last day. But what they don't see is the 2 or 3 days before. Talking to coaches, to general managers, they want to know, who is Danny the person? Is he someone that works hard? Does he have confidence in himself? Is he going to bounce back from minor setbacks? Who is he? And so I think above all, my hope is that they want good people. That's what I believe. And so, going there, it kind of opened my eyes to that a lot of people see the on-the-field events, but more importantly, it's, who is this person? So I don't know if any of that made sense to you guys, but I hope some of it did. If you can take away one little point, then I feel like I did something here tonight. So it's my pleasure to talk to you guys. I don't know if you have any questions. I'd love to answer some for you. Yes?
Bowl game against Georgia, that catch, do you think you caught
it? I thought I did. I firmly believed I did. But that was an important lesson for me. I think, what I can take satisfaction in is knowing that, at the end of the day, if you give it all you gave. If it's not in your hands, it's not in your hands. But I can take, satisfaction knowing I gave everything I did. The ultimate call is not up to me. It's going to happen in life a lot of times. I think it was important for me to learn. Then I think, as an athlete, I think it's important that, you're gonna, like I said earlier, you're going to have times where it's going to seem like failure, it's going to seem like down moments, but there are going to be lessons, there are going to be things that make you stronger. So
you weren't frustrated when they called?
I was a little frustrated, yeah.
I thought you'd be competitive.
Yeah, I wish you could overturn the overturn. Yes?
You always hear about people talking in the huddle on a last drive.
Mm-hmm.
Were you talking, or was anybody talking in the huddle on that last drive in the Sugar Bowl?
In the Sugar Bowl? A lot of talking was done on the sideline. And then once we stepped on the field, it was kind of an unspoken rule. Kind of we knew what needed to happen. So everybody was so all in. attentive. Nobody really, was joking around, or everybody's focus was on the quarterback. We had a mission. We had something that we wanted to accomplish, and it wasn't tough to, for guys to be ready for that last drive. Yes.
You play anything else?
I played indoor track, or I ran indoor track. I played lacrosse growing up. Before lacrosse, I played baseball. I played basketball. I did a little bit of everything there growing up. So, yes.
What is Frank Beamer like as a coach and as an individual?
I don't think I could have asked for a better coach to play for. When I was going through the recruiting process, I was told a lot of different things by a lot of different coaches. And Coach Beamer and his staff were true to their word throughout. And I really had a lot of respect and a lot of thanks for that. And then I think he runs a very tight program where he has a lot of confidence in his assistant coaches and their ability to coach and mentor, and he has an open door policy. He always welcomes you in, wants to hear your opinion, what your concerns are, and he's just a real player's coach.
Is it true he sends some of these kids back home on the bus?
Oh yeah.
He does do that?
Oh yeah, he sends some kids back home on the bus. Yeah, we the Greyhound, when we go to bowl trips. Okay, so we have a set of rules that we have to abide by. And if we don't, we're sent back home to Blacksburg, but we're not sent on a plane, we're sent on a Greyhound. So this year, from New Orleans, the Greyhound trip, I want to say it was like 3 days. And so there were about there was one this year, there were 4 last year, maybe 4 or 5 last year at the Orange Bowl who misbehaved, and they were sent on the Greyhound for multiple days. So. Yeah.
What was it like growing up in a small town? I mean, I'm sure there's people that said you wouldn't make it and stuff.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. I did have a lot of that. It was always one of my goals to play Division I football. And not only, I don't think it was so much the people in the town, but you go into these recruiting trips. I went to tons of recruiting trips my senior year of high school. And according to a lot of coaches, I was too slow, I was too short. I wasn't 6'5", 230. That's the kind of receiver they were looking for, and I wasn't that. I know I'm not that. I'm comfortable with that because I have a lot of confidence in myself, like I said earlier. I have a deep belief in my abilities that when I was given an opportunity at Virginia Tech, I couldn't ask for anything more. So I think wherever you are, you're going to have a lot of people doubting you. And I have a lot of people saying right now that I'm not going to make it in the NFL. That's fine, because I have a deep belief in myself. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but I can take satisfaction, like the question earlier, knowing that at the end of the day, I gave everything towards it. So, yeah.
Did you use that as fuel, kind of?
I did, yeah, I did. I felt like I had something to prove. I kept that in that was motivation, and then I got on one of these blogs when I was a redshirt freshman. All the seniors had graduated. It was my turn to have an opportunity, and the last thing I read on that blog was, the headline read, I have, from a credible source within the Hokies coaching staff, that Danny Coale was a bust as a recruit, and he's never going to play or step on the field for the Hokies as a wide receiver. That's the last thing I read, and I used that as motivation too. Like I said before, you just have to at first have a confidence in yourself that whatever comes at you, you know, you just put your head down, and that belief in myself helped fuel me, along with you know, many other things. Yeah.
You get drafted in the NFL. What team do you think you can play for?
What team do I think I could play for? Ooh, I don't know. What's your favorite team? Steelers? That's a good team. I'll go with that. I like the Steelers. That's a very good team. You know, that's a tough question. I hope I can get the opportunity first. That's all. So, yeah.
How long have you been playing football?
I started playing football when I was in 7th grade. I was in 7th grade. So, I played soccer before. Yeah.
At the combines, when you went through all the interviews, were there any coaches or GMs that you particularly liked and would love to play for?
It's a really good question. To turn off the camera. No. I met with a lot of great coaches. I didn't meet with a ton of GMs. I met with Ozzie Newsome from the Ravens. He was really nice. He actually said an interesting thing. He was the opening speaker for us when we arrived the first night, and he said that his main point was the NFL doesn't need you. You know, the NFL doesn't need you. He could play a game tomorrow with the guys he has. He didn't need any of us. So, you know, his whole point was, you know, you have to come prove to us who you are as a person, that you're worthy of us making you, giving you a spot. So, you know, I enjoyed time with him, and I was able to sit down with Coach Harbaugh and a lot of other coaches, and you know, a lot of good people there. Yes.
Is it different playing with a quarterback that's younger than you, that you have more experience with?
Yeah, that was, you know, I came into the season thinking, you know, I'm a senior, I've got a lot of experience, I'm going to help Logan out, we're all going to help him out. But I think the really neat thing about Logan was that he helped me out, probably more than I helped him. You know, he has a great head on his shoulders. He's a great person, very dedicated to it, and very passionate about it. So, you know, I learned a lot from him, and I certainly, you know, you try and be a senior leader, but you learn from the younger guys too, and I learned a great deal from him.
So how did you end up at Virginia Tech out of high school? I mean, what other colleges were looking at you, or?
I was looked at by some of the smaller schools, the Richmonds, William & Mary's, Ohio University. I always wanted to play Division 1A. So going into my senior year, where did we go? We went to a bunch. We went to Wake Forest, Virginia, Vanderbilt, Maryland, schools up and down the East Coast. All that pretty much told me the same thing. You know, if you come here and you run well, you catch well, we'll have a spot for you. I'm not biased or anything, but I felt like I did pretty good. And nobody wanted to pull the trigger. So I went to my last recruiting camp of the summer, which was Virginia Tech. I ran well, caught well, and I figured it was going to be the same old story. You look good, but we're just going to move in a different direction. But Coach Foster was my recruiting coordinator. He told me that if I ran well and caught well, that they'd have a spot, and they did. So.
Did he come to your high school games?
He came to my high school. Well, he didn't come to any high school games. He came after my junior season. He came to visit my coach because he recruits Washington, D.C., and I actually went to high school up in Washington, D.C. So he came up there, and then that's where the recruiting process kind of started. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes.
What position did you play when you first started?
When I first started, I played receiver. I played defensive back. I punted. I did punt returns and kick returns. So, yeah.
How much do you listen to like ESPN and NFL Network and all those to see what they think of you?
Not much. You know, I've kind of learned throughout this whole process, starting with reading a blog, you know, saying that I wasn't going to play anywhere, or ever going to play for Virginia Tech, to kind of block out the social media and what people say online and what they'll say on ESPN. There were guys for Virginia Tech that I could, you know, I swore they were going to be drafted last year, and they weren't. So, you know, I'm just hoping for an opportunity. So, yeah.
Do you have a specific pregame warm-up or ritual that you do?
I like to be by myself. At Virginia Tech, we're all in the locker room, but and every other day of the week, music's played throughout. But on game day, music's not played. You have to listen to your own iPod or whatever, so it's completely silent in there. So I'll listen to my iPod, and then I do a lot of stretching on my own. And then, other than that, you know, you go out there, you warm up, and you say a prayer, and you go play. Yes.
How is it when you play Sandman when you go out?
I wish everybody could experience that, because it's unbelievable. You know, it's a tunnel about this wide. It's claustrophobic. It's hot. You're in there with 70, you know, 200-pound guys. Hopefully you're not around linemen, because then it gets scary. But it just sends chills up and down your spine, just looking out and seeing everybody kind of jump. So, it's awesome.
You ever get nervous when you come out and see all the people who are seeing?
I get nervous every game. I think there'd be something wrong if I didn't. I get nervous every game. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever think about quitting, like, I just can't do this?
There were a lot of times where I questioned. The situation I was in. Yeah, you know, that's a really good question. I think you're gonna have a lot of moments, like I said, where you're like, man, I'm not any good. I failed at that. You know, I can't do this. I went 0 for 4 today. You know, I made an error in the field. I dropped a pass. But I think what it comes down to is you have to shake it. You know, there are moments like that, but that doesn't define who you are. I think the confidence that you have in yourself, I'm going to keep saying confidence, you know, you have to have that confidence that you trust in your abilities. And there were certainly times where, you know, it's not easy. It wasn't easy. There are a lot of hard times where, you know, it's 6 a.m. in the middle of July and you're running 400-meter sprints around the track, you know, while everybody else is sleeping or, you know, going to the lake for the weekend, and, you know, why did I pick football? But, you know, it's made me who I am today. You know, there's difficult times where, those difficult times definitely make you, I think, more than the good times, those difficult times make you who you are as a person, as an athlete.
How much time every week do you think you spend working on speed and agility?
Not enough. I spend a lot of time, that's practically all I'm doing right now. I loved the weight room. I loved the weight room. My dad might tell you differently, but you know, I loved being in there, and he got me in there when I was y'all's age. And there was a quote, and you guys have probably heard it, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. I feel like that's been my life motto, and that's something that I try and live up to every day. So I think while you might have some, you know, abilities or athletic, you know, talents, I don't think you can do anything without the weight room. I think it can make you stronger, faster. I think it can truly make you a better athlete, and that's my firm belief. So I spend in the off season 3-4 hours on weight training and speed work and running, and it's what I'm doing now. During the season, it was a little bit less. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours, but a lot of time.
That's on top of what they're regularly practicing.
Yep. 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 Yes. Yeah, I've always loved punting. It was something that I did when I was little. We'd go out and throw the ball around, and we'd always punt a few at the end. And it just developed into something that my dad punted in college, and it was something that I just enjoyed doing. So there was an opportunity going into my senior year. The punter had just graduated, and I went to Coach Foster, he was my recruiting coordinator. So he remembered me punting in high school, and he said, sure, you know, give it a shot. And it was one spring practice. I just gave it a shot and did well enough to stay there throughout the spring. And I worked on it and just tried to stay prepared in case it did become a possibility, and it did, you know, it did. I couldn't tell you why, what, you know, Coach Beamer, you know, what made him, you know, let me do it, but he did, and it was a great experience. To punt and then to punt return as well. I mean, it felt like high school again. Yes. If I were ever injured, what is my backup plan? That's a great question. That's a question I've thought about for the past 5 years. The number one thing that I wanted to do going to Virginia Tech, other than play, you know, obviously, to step on the field, is I had to get my education. That was very important for me. Because whether I get injured tomorrow or, you know, 4 or 5 years from now, at some point, even if I don't get injured, at some point I'm not gonna be able to play football anymore. So I think I have my degree, and you know, I worked hard at that, and I just use that in some realm. So, good question. Yes.
What's your favorite memory as an athlete?
My favorite memory as an athlete, and I was talking about it earlier, for me was going 0-2 my junior year, going undefeated after that, going back to the ACC championship and winning it. Because I think for me, being, you know, a good teammate is so important, and when you set goals as a team to go back to an ACC championship, and things don't go your way, a lot of people can get down, see them as failures, but when you can go through those ups and downs as a team and still keep fighting through to get to that point, to get to that goal that you set, I don't think there's any greater feeling. So the satisfaction of hoisting that trophy at the end of the year, knowing what we had been through, that was really gratifying. Yeah.
Do you play any other position now, like besides wide receiver?
I punted a little bit. Other than receiver, I don't. There's a couple special teams that I do, but nothing defensively or anything like that, no. Yeah.
Do you do well in school?
I think so. I got my degree in finance and was working towards a second degree in marketing. you know, I didn't always do, school wasn't easy for me. School wasn't easy for me. I had a lot of, you know, it wasn't easy by any means, but it was something that, you know, I saw as a challenge, and I wanted to, you know, overcome those challenges and do well at it. So, yes.
You like playing at Charlotte for the ACC championship now, or you like?
I do, yeah, yeah. You see a lot more orange and maroon, which is always good. So it almost feels like home field advantage when you play there. It's nice being 80 degrees in Florida, but Charlotte kind of seems like home, so it was nice to play there. Yeah.
Do you ever wear like something lucky in each game?
Yeah, I mean, as athletes, we're all superstitious, right? So I've experimented with wristbands. You know, I always wear these. The pink ones are for breast cancer. Something that I hold dear to my heart and something important to me. So I always play with that. And always wear the same socks, same cleats. So.
I got a question. A lot of people end up not making it to where you are, even though they had a chance, based on trying to conform to the crowd or what's popular.
Sure.
I'm sure you ran into occasions like that growing up. Do you mind talking a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I think, you know, for me, when I think about when I was your age, what stands out to me, it was tough to be different, you know. It wasn't cool to be different. It wasn't cool. It was cool to do what everybody else was doing. You know, you couldn't be your own person. So I think, you know, like I said, you guys, you know, you have confidence in yourself at who you are as people, young people, and you know, develop into the young men and women you want to be, and don't let anybody stop you. You know, there are a lot of people that I ran into at Virginia Tech that, you know, a lot of players that, you know, they didn't want to do the right thing, and whether it was getting on a Greyhound bus to go back to Blacksburg or being dismissed from the team or school, I think you just kind of have to have confidence and belief in yourself and who you are as a person, and just stay true to that. Stay true to who you are. Yeah.
What was it like playing on the national stage at Virginia Tech, being one of the top football colleges in the country?
You know, it was really neat. You know, it was definitely a dream come true. Playing at Virginia Tech, playing in front of, you know, on ESPN on Thursday nights. It was you know, it was really satisfying, and for me, I think it was satisfying because I knew where I came from, the amount of work that I had to put in to get there. It didn't come easy. You know, there are a lot of ups and downs, and to get to those places, it was really fun. Yes, sir.
Is there any one thing that your father said or did that motivated you the farthest or helped you out the most?
I think it's hard to pinpoint one thing that he ever said or did. There are a lot of things that my dad did. I think my dad, the thing that he did the most for me is he saw the potential in me. You know, he constantly always said that. He was like, yeah, you know, you have so much potential, and you know, for me, I didn't understand what this word potential was. I was stubborn. I was, you know, 14, 15, yeah, and you know, he saw the potential in me, and he always pushed me to work harder, and now I fully understand. You know, there were days where I didn't want to be in here. You know, I was 14, 15, I didn't want to be in a building lifting weights, and you know, he certainly didn't make me do that, but now that I am where I am, I have a lot of appreciation for what he did as a father, how he pushed me, and I think athletics aside, I think there's a lot that my dad showed me about being a good person and being a man, that, you know, for me, you know, I think a lot of people, they always ask me, you know, what do you want to be when you grow up? And obviously wanted to be involved in athletics, but I couldn't really never say, you know, I wanted to be this, I wanted to be that. For me, you know, I wanted to be my dad, because, you know, he's a person that was consistent in my life. He believed in me when everybody else didn't, and he saw the things in me that I couldn't see when I was these guys' age. So, yes.
How did you develop the work ethic that it takes to be that committed?
It doesn't happen overnight. You know, it doesn't happen overnight. You know, it's a slow process. I think, you know, you set goals, not big goals, but just tiny ones, and each day have something that you want to accomplish. You know, you want to approach it and accomplish it. You know, and you know, that's a good question. You know, how do you develop work ethic? It's something that you certainly, it's not always fun, it's not always easy, but I think it's just something that through time will, you know, if you, that's a good question. Yeah.
Did your dad start setting them for you, or was there a time and I guess an age when you said, okay, this is what I want to start doing?
It was a little bit of both, I think. You know, I think, you know, he certainly, you know, pushed me to do a lot of different things, but he definitely gave me that foundation where when I went away to college, you know, and there weren't a lot of guys that were working hard, you know, they believed that their natural ability would take them the distance, and it didn't work out for them. So he kind of set that foundation that I came to appreciate, and that came to evolve kind of over time. Yeah.
How did you feel after going undefeated and then losing to Clemson in the regular season?
Not very good. Not very good at all. You know, that was it was heartbreaking to lose to them twice, especially. You know, they beat us twice, and you lose to them in the regular season. You think you got everything figured out, and you get beat pretty handily again. But you know, they played better than us. They deserved it. So yeah.
What is it like when you're like really far down in a game, but you're entering the fourth quarter? I mean, what kind of feelings do you have?
That there's still a lot of time left. I played in a lot of different comeback games. We were down a lot of points going into the fourth quarter. You know you're going to have a lot of possessions left. Not a lot, but you'll probably have 3 or 4. And it's in football, you know, it's a little different. You have to have everybody on board, you know. And I think that's what I saw in my teammates, is that, you know, when it came to the fourth quarter, you know, we didn't want anybody to beat us there. So we had, you know, all 11 guys in, and just a lot of confidence in each other that came through, you know, practice. And there's still a lot of time left, and the game's certainly not over until, you know, they kick you off the field. So, yes.
Scholarships.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot of talk now, all the people getting the illegal benefits and all that. But as far as being a student and a player, you do not have time to have a job for spending money.
Right.
So how do you feel as far as them giving students possible money for spending money?
It's a good question. I I personally think that the scholarship check that I was given was sufficient. I think if you budgeted correctly, if you didn't spend it on all sorts of crazy things and lived in a modest place off campus, that it would certainly be enough. I think there are a lot of student athletes that use it the wrong way. They'll run out of money in the first couple of weeks and they'll want more. So I think if you're smart about it, I think there's enough money as an athlete, as a student athlete. Gas prices going up, maybe we need a little more, but no, there's certainly enough money. Yes?
When you were growing up, did you have a feeling that you were just going to play football?
No, I didn't. I didn't know until my junior year in high school. I played lacrosse and football and was kind of in between both. My brother played lacrosse in college at UVA, and thought about playing with him there. But that's kind of when I decided that football was for me and lacrosse wasn't, and that's where my heart was. And so I didn't always know. No, I didn't know until kind of late. Yeah.
What do you think it'll be like in the future? Like if you're at your house and all your family's there and you're watching a Virginia Tech game with your brother going to Virginia and you going to Virginia Tech?
He's been to the Virginia Tech games, and he's worn something hokey every time. So I'm a big UVA lacrosse fan, and he's a big Virginia Tech football fan. So no physical altercations yet. Yes.
When your brother and you are going to different schools, does he still like root for you when you're playing football?
Yeah, he does. He does. He's a big fan. He's been supportive throughout the whole thing, and when I told him I had a scholarship opportunity from Virginia Tech, he was the first one to say, you got to do it. You got to take it. So he's been supportive the whole time. Yes? That is I don't know. That's a coaching issue right there. We haven't been in that situation a lot, but I would imagine that there's a certain respect that you have for your opponent, and it's just kind of one of those, I think, unwritten rules in football that coaches try and adhere to. So that's a good question. I don't know. Yes. They didn't travel with us. They were there throughout the whole week, and then we would travel Friday night for a Saturday game, and they didn't go. I know other sports do, like baseball and basketball. They'll have tutors go because they travel during the week, and their schedule's a little different than ours. But we had tutors every other day of the week. Yes?
What was your favorite win as a Hokie?
Favorite win? A couple. ACC championships, one of them, and then I guess my favorite win would be my last win, which would have been Virginia.